Hey, and welcome back to Soul Healing with the ETs. Well, my soul is telling me it's high time for a recap to celebrate our first 6 months. So I bought a new shirt. What do you think? And on top of that, we got some background music in quotation marks that's playing in the level upstairs of us. So you might be hearing that through the mic system. But, we all have a soul. Well, most of us. And our soul is of an unimaginable intelligence and is from a much higher dimension of peace, love, and joy, and is an eternal being of light created by Source, also known as God. Now, as far as I understand, God is not a dude in the clouds, but rather an energy, an awareness, the pure living intelligence that is behind all creation. The field of awareness that flows through all trees, dreams, animals, birds, stars, planets, and humans, of course. Source created all the souls that are out there, and our souls are eternal. They will never, ever die and want to learn everything there is to learn in all dimensions and settings, physical and non-physical. Our souls are bundles of energy and come to Earth to experience physical matter in a physical form and thus incarnate as a rock, a flower, plant, tree, bird, fish, reptile, animal, human, to obtain that physical experience. Thus, we humans are spiritual beings living a physical existence in a physical world. So we're spiritual beings living a physical existence, in these bodies, in a physical world where we're surrounded by physical objects. Our human bodies are the terrestrial vehicle that our soul uses to accomplish its learnings. Now, we need to view our soul as being a drop of water in an ocean, and Source is that entire ocean, so that our souls are Source, and Source is our souls, and Source is an awareness that is in each one of us, just waiting for us to tune in. No intermediary necessary. Ever since I tuned in 4 years ago, my life has taken on so much more meaning, and the peace, connectedness, and fulfillment that I've found, I would never have imagined that I would find. And things just keep getting better for me as I go forward. I always feel a presence within myself, and I just know that it's Source. And part of my mission here, like many other people out there, is to be a conduit, a messenger of sorts, to help humanity rise from the third dimension into the fifth dimension, something we shall be talking a lot about over the coming weeks. All souls knew there was going to be this huge shift as Mother Earth raises her frequency, as Mother Earth goes through her own reincarnation. It's a boom of consciousness, an awakening that started in 2019, 2020, and will be continuing for over a decade after that. Our souls knew that humanity would awaken one by one during this time, as our souls each have a trigger that unlocks our awakening. My awakening went full speed ahead after I was really sick, after a COVID vaccine, because I call COVID convid, because we were all conned. And after I was sick, there's no way that's a vaccine. They would never do that to people purposefully. It's untested. And then a few days later, I was driving down a highway, and over the highway was a giant billboard saying, "Get vaccinated." And I remember screaming at the billboard, "It's only a flu, get over it." Well, that was what started my awakening. And billions of souls wanted to participate in this awakening, as it's absolutely unprecedented in humanity's history. Souls decided to participate in a huge spectrum of ways, with the overall objective being a rise in consciousness. However, not all souls will awaken, and some incarnated here with the specific objective of not awakening, and that's okay. They're on a different path. But in the end, does it really matter? Because we all do go back up to soul form. But better to be on the awakening side, because it's going to be quite a new world coming at us. Now, what are we awakening to? Where we are actually from, Source, and why we are here to complete our mission, our purpose, as we all have a purpose here on earth, whether we realize it or not. So before coming to human form, our soul makes a deal outlining a purpose or a destiny to fulfill. And we all have soul contracts, and essentially it's the list of lessons and challenges that are assigned in our life. So our soul is the one who wants to carry out these learnings, but needs us, the human incarnation, to be able to carry out its mission. My soul chose to be a vocal communicator about what is happening, and I was as asleep as most other people out there, and I think it was all deliberate so that I could experience and understand what the awakening is myself, and then be able to communicate it effectively to others. Also to be able to do it while I'm still quite excited about the whole process, as it's still very new to me. I'm quite confident that most of you listening are already or will soon be going through a similar awakening, and I hope to be able to help out with that. It's not a coincidence that many of my past life experiences were to groom me to get me ready for this. I've been public speaking for close to 40 years now, and that gave me the experience in how to research a vast array of topics and ideas, to connect seemingly unrelated ideas and items, and then to present them. What I'm still learning myself right now, well, a whole bunch of things, but what I'm really learning is trying to listen to my soul, as our souls are constantly communicating with us, but we need to be open and receptive and be able to decipher what they're trying to tell us. Now, my soul has a lot to say, and although I'm surprised that I'm one of the peeps sharing many truths, I can't say that I'm shocked, because logically it does make sense with all that I know about myself now. That I've always been a pretty open-minded guy. I like thinking outside the box and willing to listen to different points of view. Remember, our human body is the terrestrial vehicle that our soul uses here on earth to accomplish its objectives. So in my case, it's my soul that wanted me to start a podcast, and I'm along for the ride. But it's actually a lot more simple than that. Our souls have scripted out our entire lives, including all the people that we're supposed to meet and interact with along the way. It's all pre-scripted. However, we humans are the ones in charge of creating the dialogue with the people that our soul brings us together with. And our souls have the most unexpected ways of bringing people together. So a year ago, I was driving the tour bus, and I went to pick up a group to go to Niagara Falls, and the bus was full. So we had 32 people to pick up, and all the seats are arranged in pairs. Now, that morning we had groups of 3, groups of 1, groups of 2, a group of 4, and so on. And I never want to split up couples because then they get anxiety of not being together. So I always try to put 2 groups of 3 together, singles together, so that everyone's sitting with their groups. And that morning, 30 of the 32 people were all waiting for me when I rolled up with the bus. And so I sat them all together, and for one reason or another, I decided to keep 2 seats together for our last 2 singles who were not there. Anyway, so we had everyone seated, and one guy showed up, and he was Italian, and he took the window seat, and then there was 1 seat left, and it took about 5 minutes, and then this young Swiss girl showed up, so she sat beside the Italian guy, and they did not know each other, and off we went on the tour. And we got to our first stop, and everybody took off, and 30 people came back to the bus on time, and 2 people were missing. It was our new friends, and they showed up 5-6 minutes late together. And then we went to our second stop, which was a photo stop, and they were taking pictures of each other because I was watching. And then we got to our first stop in Niagara Falls, and when time came to load up the bus again, guess who showed up together again? Our 2 new best friends. And then we did our second stop in Niagara. And after the boat ride, I picked everybody up, and 30 people showed up. And guess which 2 were missing? And I told the group, hey, remember how I sat you guys this morning and I left those 2 seats open? Well, I want to be invited to their wedding. And then half the group laughed, and then their half is like, what's Alex talking about? And guess who showed up together 7-8 minutes late? They sat down and we drove away. So for whatever reason, their souls chose to have them meet on a tour bus to Niagara Falls. Then my soul agreed to help out, set them up together. I did not have to sit them side by side because I had lots of singles, but I did because my soul was directing from the background. Everything happening here on earth is part of a giant simulation. Source set up this simulation so that our souls can learn, grow, and evolve in consciousness. Our life is a giant play that is put together by our souls up in the planning rooms in Soul Land so that they can make their learnings in an authentic manner to get true responses and reactions from us humans as we are oblivious to the process. However, we are now in the Great Awakening, and we can start to realize that our soul is doing things on purpose, and it's part of a pre-scripted play to see how we humans will react authentically. So that can bring us humans to ask, oh, wait, this is happening to me? Because this is a lesson, right? What am I supposed to learn? What am I going to do about it? Wait, I don't need to overreact. This is happening for a reason. It's being done on purpose. Why was I supposed to meet this person? What am I to learn? Do we want to learn compassion? Generosity? loneliness. The list is extremely long of what we can be learning. I think becoming aware of the process can lead us humans to take our power back within ourselves instead of being followers, and that will lead us to a higher frequency and an expansion in consciousness. But why can we not remember any of this? Because our memory is wiped out the moment we incarnate to make it a true learning experience. If we knew all the answers in advance, it wouldn't be a true learning experience now, would it? We are the author, the director, the producer, and the actor in our own play. So that I'm the star of my play, as you are the star of your play. My mom is the star of her play, and we do all of this through our soul contracts. All the characters presently in our life are participating in our play and are all actors carrying out the role that we want them to carry out so that we can acquire the learnings that our soul is seeking. The family we were born into was chosen to contribute to the lessons. We discussed this in episode number 9 of why we choose our parents. And it's up to us to figure out why. Did we want to learn self-love? To choose ourselves? To overcome rejection? To overcome abandonment? What did we want to learn? Some people are destined to come into our lives to help heal something, for an occurrence in a past life, that's a karmic relationship, an occurrence in this life. Knowing this, why not get together with your best friend and start discussing the possible reasons why everyone in your life has been brought to you? There is a reason, or many reasons. And what are we learning from them? So essentially, our soul contract is the agreement that we made with ourselves because our soul incarnated into our human body. So our soul prescripted a life and that we are supposed to carry out. So it's basically an agreement between us and our soul. And our life is full of choices. And we do have free will here on earth. Meaning, you don't have to do what your soul wants you to do. But what I can tell you, and what I do believe, is that the more aligned we are with what our soul wants us to accomplish, the less stress, trauma, anxiety, and sickness that we will face as we are following what our soul wants us to accomplish. When we deviate away from our mission, that is when our choices don't always align with our purpose. That is where we can face confusion, negativity, anxiety, illness, depression, as we are not following our soul contract. And that's exactly what happened to me with my ex. And I'll be doing a whole podcast about the importance of being true to and choosing ourselves. Now, in order to fulfill our soul contract, we are supported by soul guides, guardian angels, spirit guides, and other angels and people that will help us. The guides are there to keep us on the right track. That is the script that our soul wrote before incarnating into us. And that guardian angel is there for our entire life, or rather is there for all our lives. So let's say we had 1 million lives. It's probably more than that, but let's just say we had 1 million lives. Our guardian angel is there from the very get-go and follows us from life to life to life, because remember, our souls are indestructible, eternal beings. So they're there to take care of us and assist us, but can't interfere here on earth. So if we don't ask for assistance, they don't have anyone to help. So I've heard that our spirit guides like it when we talk to them, and that we tell them what we want, and then they can work on helping us back. And I've heard they can even do miracles if they know what we want. So I started talking to them almost on a daily basis, not that long ago. And for example, a couple months ago during this winter, I felt completely overwhelmed by all the daily tasks that I had to do, by these very high frequencies that I was feeling, by all the constant sleep as I was tired all the time. I was juggling 2 part-time jobs, plus rehabilitation for my body for the different injuries, plus sports, plus seeing friends, social, plus the podcast was just too much. And I said out loud, I want to be able to accomplish all these tasks. Show me what to do. And ever since, I noticed my guides like nudging me, hey, do this now. And then, hey, do this later. Okay, go to sleep now. And I'm coping way better at balancing all the tasks now. My advice, start speaking out loud to your soul and guides, and tell them what you want and need, and ask them to show you the way to accomplish these goals, or ask for possibilities, to show you possibilities, because we do have free will here on earth. We get to decide. So if you ask for different possibilities, then you can choose one of those possibilities. When we're open enough, we will always receive signs, messages, clues as to whether or not we are following the destined path, as we explored in podcast number 3. We're all destined to climb a mountain, and that's our soul contract. If we don't do it in this lifetime, then our soul will have to come back again in another incarnation to try to conquer the challenge that we did not resolve in this incarnation, as our souls have no fear and they want to learn what they chose in their curriculum. But better that we try to conquer everything in this lifetime, because that's the whole point of doing this. But it's also not a race to see how fast you can attain your mission, complete your mission. But rather, it's to be true to ourselves and climb our mountain excited by the journey that our soul, designed before we were born. This is why we are here on earth. Our souls are incarnating from a much higher dimension of extreme intelligence. Our souls are Source, after all. And the basic idea is that Source created a simulation here on earth so that our souls can have all the experiences that they seek. Thus, earth was created by Source as a school and a playground for our souls. Earth is simply a big old school. And we often hear, Earth is a school. We learned many things here on earth. Yeah, but it's more than that. It was specifically built to be a school for our souls so that they can make their learnings. To conclude, all the incarnations here on earth, birds, trees, humans, are part of a huge show being carried out by very advanced beings to elicit certain responses within us with the main objective of learning. And this is child's play for our souls. Our souls cannot be here on earth without incarnating into a physical vehicle like us humans. It's the only way for them to experience the physicality of a three-dimensional place like Earth. Hey, that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. And we'll continue our 6-month recap in the next episode. But hope you enjoyed this. I would like to dedicate this podcast to Jesus, of course. And if you have any comments or questions, would love to hear from you down in the comment section. Don't be shy. And I will see all you guys in the next one. Thanks for tuning in to Soul Healing with the ETs. Solid choice.